Heartland is Canada's longest-running one-hour drama series. This popular family drama is famous for its breathtaking scenery, heartfelt stories, and beautiful horses. No wonder the show's fan base is in the millions. There's a reason so many people tuned in every week for 14 years just to watch 224 episodes of a family drama. Today, we're talking all about the most heartbreaking moments from TV series Heartland. Ty says goodbye to his dad. Road to Nowhere, Season 5, Episode 12. A lot of times in our lives, the thing that stops us from moving on is the lack of closure in a relationship with a person we cherished or with someone we'd come to detest. The heart of Heartland are, without a doubt, all those relationships and bonds that our favorite characters created among themselves, making us laugh and cry with them for all these years. Having quickly become a fan favorite throughout the earlier seasons, Ty finds closure in this episode by going to his most treasured place with his father's ashes, and Jack alongside him for company. Ty admits that for all his faults, his dad sure had a way of making him believe in himself, and that helped him get by all those years. Fans all over the world were bawling their eyes out at this strangely cathartic scene, their hearts breaking for Ty, a beloved character on the show, yet still appreciating the dynamic that he had with Jack in this scene. I think we need a break. Secret and Lies, Season 8, Episode 4. Every relationship has an expiration date, and if a relationship somehow manages to evade that, a renewal of sentiments is definitely in order. For Amy and Ty, this was the tipping point in their relationship. This episode tore the hearts out of fans everywhere. The desperation, pain, and anguish in Ty's voice as he admitted to wanting a break from Amy made everyone shed a few tears. Graham Wardley's acting in this episode was particularly outstanding, with everyone praising him and the writing, while simultaneously hating this wretched turn of events. The audience could feel Ty's pain in thinking that Amy wasn't the same as before, with many saying that Ty was right in creating space between them so she could decide what kind of lifestyle she preferred to live in. Ty never wanted to stand in Amy's way, even though he loved her. He'd always been there for Amy when she needed him, and this breakup broke all viewers' hearts. When to Let Go, The Green-Eyed Monster, Season 10, Episode 4. There's nothing stranger than a mother's love for her child, and although the entirety of this episode had us ugly crying every now and then, this little moment where Amy sang the song to her grandpa wrote while pregnant with her mom was enough to melt the hearts of the toughest individuals. The scene gave everyone chills with its impeccable writing, the raw emotion that every character felt, Amy's beautiful voice, and the slight tinge of pain that anyone who suffered an insurmountable loss would be able to hear in her song. When Amy got to the part where she sang about hearing her mama, she looked up, as if looking at her mom in heaven. This moment was enough to bring the waterworks on and make anyone sob uncontrollably, regardless of their age. Ty leaves for Mongolia, The Green-Eyed Monster, Season 10, Episode 4. Amy and Ty were a lot of Heartland fans' one true pairing. This is why Ty's departure from the show was especially heart-wrenching to everyone who'd been waiting for all these years, watching the push and pull between these two characters who quickly became fan favorites in the hearts of many. Their will they won't they dynamic was a major part of the larger story of the show, and Ty leaving a pregnant Amy behind really broke a lot of hearts, even if he was going to fulfill a greater cause. Longtime fans of the show have described this departure, along with Amy's "We'll Be Fine," as some of the most heart-wrenching moments of the show to date. Georgie's most memorable moment, Apart But Together, Season 10, Episode 10. Young Georgie came an incredibly long way from the child she was back in Season 1. She blossomed into an incredibly mature and precocious young lady throughout all those years, and her essay titled "My Most Memorable Moment" is a testament to that love and care she received all these years. Orphaned at age 3, young Georgie was a difficult and rebellious child, running away from all her foster families until she came to the Flemings. But seeing her in this episode looking with love and admiration at the photo of all the people who loved her and who she'd come to love was a beautiful, heartwarming sight. It was heartbreaking to see how everyone was kind of a part of each other, all the goodbyes, the not-so-pleasant farewells, the losses, and yet they were all closer than ever before, and would always be, no matter what. After all, Georgie called them my people, and we don't think there's a more satisfying character evolution arc on television than this one right here. Georgie's ready to take the torch and ride off with it into the sunset. Mallory and Jake's wedding and farewell, Written in the Stars, Season 10 episode 14. Since their first appearance on screen together, eagle-eyed fans could spot the romance between Mallory and Jake from a mile away, which is why it was a no-brainer for everyone to hop on this ship and hope with their fingers crossed for it to sail. Although it was less than smooth sailing for this couple, what with the involvement of one young fellow by the name of Badger, who owned a lot of fans' hearts and Mallory's too for some time. He had his own little wing of supporters, and we may or may not be guilty of being a part of them. But people who kept holding on to the Mallory-Jake couple were rewarded in due time. Their great patience bore fruit in the form of a beautiful love confession, but ended in heartbreak for fans of the couple when Mallory left with Jake to go to Paris at the end of season 7. Everyone who wants to see the couple continue being their lovely selves together was heartbroken and disappointed, until one fine day in season 10, all die-hard fans of the Mallory-Jake couple got to see them one last time on the show. The producer's decision to have Mallory get married back home was a wonderful one, as all fans rejoiced in this celebration. Although that was bittersweet, because everyone had to say goodbye to two amazing characters all over again. Georgie lets Wyatt go. A Time to Remember, season 13, episode 6. Despite the showrunners clearly hinting at Georgie's undying love for Quinn, and the man himself coming on screen to make audiences swoon from time to time, there was something about Wyatt that made all our hearts cry when Georgie mercilessly let go of him, despite the former pleading relentlessly for her to take him back. Wyatt was not a perfect guy by any means, but his devotion and love for Georgie won all viewers over, and him struggling to deal with the skeletons in his closet while being heartbroken by Georgie multiple times really broke our hearts. Wyatt had made his way into everyone's good books by breaking up with his girlfriend, whom he no longer loved, and despite Georgie initially forgiving him and him being head over heels for her, it seemed that nothing Wyatt could do would ever be enough for her. It goes without saying that Wyatt deserved so much better for staying devoted to Georgie through everything, and her rejection of him was a stab in the heart that fans felt more than Wyatt himself perhaps. Saying goodbye to Ty, Keep Me in Your Heart, season 14, episode 1. The first episode of season 14 was the most beautifully heartbreaking episode to date. You might be wondering what on earth we're talking about, since we just lost one of the most beloved characters in the entire show's history in this dreadful episode. How can this tragedy be beautiful? Well, bear with us, because the story of Heartland impacted millions of people in incredible ways, that this loss couldn't have been more universally felt. It couldn't have been a more devastating tragedy for Amy, who had never really known a life without Ty, the love of her life, since she was a teenager when she first met him. Ty's death came as a devastating loss to longtime fans of the show, as well as the cast. Having worked with Graham all these years, they were bound to form a real relationship, a real connection beyond what was shown on screen, and now moving on with the other seasons of the show without Graham felt like an impossible task, especially after Ty and Amy finally got their happy ending and a beautiful daughter, Lindy. Fans were outraged at this injustice, with many declaring that the heart of Heartland died with Ty. We were devastated too, and we really think no one can ever replace the gaping hole Ty and Graham left in our hearts. That's a wrap for most heartbreaking moments from TV series Heartland. See you in the next one.